Hello again everyone, this is Vincent and this is episode 9 of the Particulars Let's Play. Alright, so in chapter 9 we turn the electromagnetic force back on, so we're dealing with everything except gravity. Alright, so in this level, what's going to happen is, first of all, you are an anti-down quark, and a bunch of these particles are around here, and you've got to cause 10 annihilations. And you've got two spawners here to do the annihilations. So basically these two are protons, and this is an anti-proton spawner. A proton is made up of two ups and one down. Now before you couldn't make a proton because the charges of the up quarks would repel each other, but now the strong nuclear force can keep a proton together when you have a combination of red, green, and blue, or anti-red, anti-green, anti-blue. Over here are what are called pion pluses. So pions are made up of either an anti-down and an up quark, or an anti-up and a down quark. That will give you the pion minus. And like the proton, you couldn't make it before because the positive charges of both of these quarks would repel each other, but now the strong nuclear force can hold them together. In this case, it's a green and an anti-green, and over here it's a red and an anti-red. Note that these whole particles have no net color charge because all the colors balance out: red, green, and blue, or green, anti-green, red, anti-red, something like that. So once you have a color neutral particle, the electromagnetic force will take over, and this has a positive charge, so it repels all these other positive charges. So you get these 10 annihilations. You basically just spawn two antiprotons, two pion minuses, and then annihilate everything. Now, just a word of caution, the pion minus does have an anti-down quark in it. No, a down quark rather. So if you're not careful, you can accidentally annihilate yourself, but you can't. If you want to be safe, you can turn into an anti-strange by collecting some of the data from these annihilations and then upgrading yourself, and that should just give you enough time to annihilate it without accidentally annihilating you. The other thing you can do is obviously not stand on top of where the down quark will spawn. Because the particles will always spawn in the place of where it appears in the spawner. Yep. Now I've become a charmed, I think. And I just carry this over. Note that when annihilations happen, the explosion will cause nearby particles to force decay. Okay, so in this level, we've got to put an anti-strange quark in here. To make an anti-strange, we've got to take an anti-up and a W+. Or, if you're an anti-down and you have a change unit, you can make the W+ turn into an anti-up and then reabsorb the W+ to turn into the anti-strange. Of course, we need some data to do that, and to get the data, we have an anti-up spawner here, and we can annihilate at least two up quarks, or collect two of the data. Note that once I spawn an anti-up, because this is not color neutral, you will see lots of particles flying everywhere. But thankfully, you can't get annihilated in this level. So get that data. So now I've got two data, and I just have to... Maybe I should just annihilate those red up quarks just to make my life easier, because otherwise they're going to push me so hard it's not funny. Or I can just change color, and now I'm equally repelled from all directions. So now I just make that W+ and turn myself into that. Okay. So in this level, we have two objectives. One of them is to collect 9 data, and one of them is to put a W plus boson into this circle. Now, to get the data, like the previous chain reaction level, what we have is this barrier, and this will block two antiparticles, so proton, antiproton, proton, antiproton, from annihilating. However, I can spawn an antiproton, and the antiproton will be attracted to one of these, and that will cause this to be released because there's no longer any charge holding it, and it will be attracted towards this proton, and it will create lots of data. Now the thing is you have to hug this wall after all the annihilations happen, because the data will generally appear around here when it annihilates, and if you're not careful, you can accidentally run out of data, or not collect enough if you let it expire. And yeah, so just be careful about that. Just spawn 2 of these. The chain reaction will cause more of these explosions. And once you're done, as an anti-down quark, you can make a W plus boson, so that's easy. If you accidentally recapture your W plus boson, or you can force decay the particle, either yourself or the other particle which absorbed it, and it will spit the W plus boson back out. There's one annihilation chain, and hope that data gets close enough for me to actually grab it. Yep. Maybe spawn another one. You do have some leeway in this level, so you can let some data decay. So you've got 3 spare, and I just make the W plus. You don't need to hold it there for long. Alright, so this is another lock and key level. So basically what we've got to do in this level is put a W minus boson in here. However, in order to get the W boson there, you have to get yourself here so you can actually spit it out. And stopping you is this block positive barrier. Now, you can pass the block positive barrier once you get some chain units by turning into an anti-up quark or an up family quark. But there are these up quarks blocking you, so that threaten to annihilate you if you try and pass as an anti-up quark. Now, to get rid of those, I'm kind of working backwards here. You've got to spawn this bunch of 3 anti-up quarks, and hopefully, if you're not too unlucky, you can get these to annihilate the anti-up quarks up there. However, to get there, to spawn that, there is a proton blocking you with a down quark in it, and a block positive barrier as well. So you have to turn into an up quark around here to get through that barrier. Then, to get rid of that, you need to spawn this antiproton from here. And blocking you from getting there is this block negative barrier, but that doesn't matter because since you're an anti-down quark, and there's also a a pion minus blocking you. And you can get rid of that with this spawner. Now, no, I'll just explain it later. So, just spawn this. Whoops, accidentally came out. Doesn't matter. Careful with this. Now I'm just going to spawn this because when I turn into an up quark, I'm going to turn an anti-up quark rather. I'm going to spit out a W plus boson, and that can form a positron, and the positron can mess up my plan, so this electron can get rid of either the positron or the W plus boson. And it just made some nice data. Not that I'm going to really collect it. Alright, so here, I generally like to turn into an anti-charm because firstly, I am still negative, so I can pass through the block positive barrier, and because I'm heavier, I have more inertia, and it means I'm not as easily accidentally pulled upwards towards the up quarks, which the up quarks which threaten to annihilate me. So turn into Charmed or Strength, I can never remember. And the three colours should attract towards the up quarks. Or the charge, either way works. I had to get rid of that W. Oh gosh. Oh, just pick up some data. Not to worry. Yeah, so I had to get rid, since I had decayed into a down quark, I think. I can't remember. Yes, a down quark. I had to get rid of that W plus boson before I can release a W minus boson.